everyone. So today I've been looking around the garden thinking about different little jobs that I can be doing that sort of don't involve sort of cleaning up the garden or disturbing the foliage too much. One is I'm going to go around to my late father-in-law's greenhouse, who used to live around the corner. My mother-in-law still does. So I use his greenhouse to store sort of overspill plants, spent pots of daffodils, iris, tulip, things like that. So I'm going to go around, see what's around there, and start bringing them back here and putting them out in this area at the top of my drive. We're in January, you know, I wouldn't be bringing more tender plants out and putting them in the garden now because January, February up here in the northeast of England can be quite severe. But things like tulips, daffodils, iris, muscari, all the things that I can remember I've got planted in tubs, they will be perfectly fine out in the cold. It's really the pots that I have to think about, my more fragile pots that might crack. Anything in a metal pot or a plastic pot, a bulb, that will be fine. So I'm going to do that. And then in this area over here, I discovered last week when I took some of these leaves away that all the bulbs have started coming through, and this whole area will be full of bulbs under these leaves. So although I leave a lot of the foliage for insects to sort of hibernate in over the winter, these soggy leaves, I can get rid of these, but I'm not just going to put them in the council composting bin, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I like to make leaf mould. So whilst I'm around in the greenhouse getting those pots of bulbs, I'm going to see if I've got some old sacks, and what I'll do is I'll bag up all of these old leaves, soggy old leaves, poke some holes in the bottom of the sack, and then store those sacks for a year around the back of the greenhouse. And then this time next year, 2026, I'll have a big bag of beautiful black leaf mould. So this is my late father-in-law's greenhouse. I use this greenhouse as sort of an overspill area, and his garden hut there as well to store pots in and things. So I'm very, very lucky. So these are pots of bulbs. I've had these for quite a few years now. Some of them still have their labels in. So these ones here are white daffodils. You can see they're all poking through. What have I got here? Tulip Brisbane. Tulips, sometimes you're lucky and you'll get flowers the second year. I can see the tips coming through. Sometimes you just get the leaves with tulips. What's this? Oh, so these are Narcissus Wave. So this is a type of daffodil. So they're all coming through. And really I just put some of the pots in here because it saves them from the worst of the cold and stops the pots from cracking. And also, if you've been watching my channel, you know I have lots and lots of pots hidden behind my husband's car on the drive and all over the garden. So as I said, I use this as an overspill area. So I've got more bulbs coming up there. I think these look very fun. I think these are going to be a daffodil as well. And then what have I got down here? Oh, muscari. That's that grape hyacinth. I love them. Now they come back year after year. So half the pleasure for me in growing bulbs is watching them break through the soil and then every day coming out and seeing how much they've grown. Another pot there, some more muscari there. Oh, now this is iris. These labels are great with a white acrylic pen because the writing stays on. Another pot of narcissus there breaking through, Narcissus minnow. This is Iris Montecito. And if you lose the label or you don't put a label in, then all you're presented with is a pot of earth like that, and then it's anybody's guess what's in there until they come up. So yes, as I was saying, half the pleasure for me is seeing the bulbs emerge. So I think now, January, I'll take all of these pots back around the corner and place them in the sunshine outside my garage door, and then every day as I pass, I'll be able to see their progress. Right, I'll start loading my wheelbarrow up. Oh, there's a tulip one here, crystal star. Yeah, that's coming through. Let's hope I get flowers. Right, I think that'll do. It's really quite nice and mild. I had my coat on earlier, but it's too warm. So they are my white daffs. And you don't need sunshine really. If you can put them in the sunshine, it just encourages the bulbs to grow a bit more quickly. But the thing about bulbs, if you've looked after them over the winter, so you haven't allowed them to get waterlogged or anything, that's what they hate, particularly tulips. The bulb will just rot if you let them get waterlogged. But if you've looked after your bulbs, all the food needed for this year's flower is already in the bulb. So you just have to encourage them to grow, give them a little bit of sunshine. But once the flower bud has developed, you can really put them in deep shade. I know this because I've done it with my daffs year after year. You can put them in deep shade. They'll last longer than if you kept the bulb in full sunlight. And it just brightens up a dark area. There we go. So for this time. Right. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly these bulbs grow now that they've been taken up from the shade of the floor of the greenhouse and popped into the sunshine. So this area here in front of my garage, in a few weeks' time, I'll be taking away, so the chrysanthemums are finished, I'll be taking those away. In fact, really, it's just the chrysanthemums, isn't it? Everything else looks nice. And putting the pots of bulbs in position alongside any other plants that might be around the garden. This is a lovely bulb in this pot here at the base of my crabapple tree. It gets a tiny little very pale blue flower on it. That's very pretty. And I think what I'll do is I'll intersperse the footage from today with pictures of these bulbs last year and what they looked like in the different areas. Make it a bit more interesting for you rather than just staring at lots of bare stems and pots of earth. Right, I'll take you through into the courtyard and I'll show you where some of these bulbs are destined for. And that is my little shady courtyard through here. See how dark this is? So as I said last week, I grow hostas, acers, ferns, heucheras, anything that can grow in deep shade. But this area does look particularly beautiful when in the spring I dot little tubs of white narcissus. They really pop, particularly against the black wall. Then through there, this is the little white garden that I developed last year. And again, I put tubs of, these are all evergreen here, but I'll put tubs of white narcissus in here. And then I've got lots and lots of bulbs coming up in this area. Not sure what these ones are here. They look like some kind of iris. Anyway, very exciting. Right, we'll start picking up these leaves. These big frames here will support the beautiful Sarah Bernhardt peonies that grow in this area. I'll put a picture up of what this area looks like early summer. It's beautiful, isn't it? One thing I did notice this year though was that at the back of the border over there, I need some more colour, some height to replace the peony flowers when they've gone over, because they're beautiful but they don't last very long. So I have got something in mind for that. And I've got a couple of clematis and a climbing rose that grows up there, so that gives colour. All these little bits and pieces around here were sort of hidden in the foliage at the base of the tree that the tree surgeon took down. And he said, oh, I've just moved all your bits and pieces and put them in the border. But unfortunately, I didn't move them in time. And some of them were over the top of the bulbs that are emerging. But I've caught them quickly enough. It's only January. So yes, move these elsewhere. I'm really not a garden ornament person, but my daughter, when she was little, she's in her 30s now, she made that at the pottery class for me. So I love him. Very sentimental. Right, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in very gently and lift up all of these leaves, all the sticks and everything, and just plonk them in the bag. If you are interested in making leaf mould, I'll put a link that I have made a video all about how to make leaf mould very successfully and very easily. One of the best bits of advice I can give any new gardeners is, if you are tidying up a border or doing any work in a border, start at the front. It sounds really obvious, but a lot of people think, oh, I'll start at the back and work forward. Always start at the front of your border and work in, particularly if, like this, you can't see what's underneath all these leaves. If I thought, right, I'll start cleaning from the back forwards, I'd stand on all of these bulbs. So I'm going to take the camera in close and show you what I'm finding. So these straggly things here are wallflowers. I didn't get cut down last year, but I'll give them a trim this year and they will flower in the spring. And I know I planted loads and loads of bulbs in this border. But once you uncover them, again, just like the bulbs in the pots, the cold won't damage these bulbs. Standing on them would. So yes, it's going to be a long process. Probably take me about half an hour to do this border, but very enjoyable. You just got to be very, very careful. Look at all of these. Gorgeous. This plant here is Shasta Daisy that grows lovely and big and frothy and spills forward. And these little rosettes here, this is London Pride. Again, gets that one, it grows about this tall, about 12 inches, and gets a nice pale pink flower. And all of these leaves in here, that is a very tall white campanula. And pick the leaves out of this area here because I want to put my foot somewhere over there to clean round those bulbs there, and I need to know what I'm uncovering. So you can see these very delicate leaves sticking up. I can tell they're not grass, that's some kind of bulb. Oh yes, lots of bulbs in here. I've got some euphorbia in here. Once you've got euphorbia in your garden, it's a beautiful early sort of flowering plant for the spring. Really adds a sort of zingy lime colour to your borders, but my goodness, once you get it in your borders, it's very, very hard to get rid of it. You can keep pulling it out year after year and it just comes back. You see lots of weeds in here, but it's not weed pulling time yet. I'm going to put my foot there, and then I can clear up round here. So yes, I'm just going to work my way through this border until all the bulbs are exposed like this. Clear all the leaves away. And then that'll give me a real interest as I come up the garden path here, because that's the side entrance that we always use, and everyone will see all the bulbs. So that's it for today, everyone. Haven't got a lot of jobs done, but every little helps, and I do really enjoy being out in the garden. Even sometimes I don't do anything, I just wander through with a cup of tea, and it's just lovely being outside in the sunshine. I don't know whether you noticed that little bird singing. It was beautiful. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I do hope you've enjoyed the video and that you're enjoying your gardens wherever you are in the world. So until next time, bye.